teachers need to know that the Daily 5 is really a structure so that when you are working with a small group of students, that all your other students have something that they're working on that is not busy work.
Right.
They're actually working in these 5 areas and practicing what's been taught in their whole class lesson as well as in their guided reading lesson. So when they're working on reading to themselves, they're applying those strategies or those skills when they're reading to themselves. When they're reading with a partner, it's the same thing. They're working with another child, another student, a classmate, and they're applying those skills. And the work on words also is related to like what's been going on in the classroom, depending on where the teacher's at in his or her learning. It could be the spelling words. It could be the words from the stories the child has been reading in their guided reading lesson. Those words could be tied right to the mini lesson, depending on what strategy or skill is being taught. And the work on writing is the same way. The students work independently. They might be working, depending on where they're at in the process, they might be working on a narrative piece, an informational piece, or even an opinion piece of writing. And it could just be free choice, getting kids used to writing their writing stories and writing their thoughts and their thinking down. It could even be writing in response to something that they've read. So maybe they're writing about a story that they've read, or and tied back. It could potentially be tied back to whatever the skill or strategy was that was taught in that whole group lesson again in the guided reading. And then listening to reading is the last of the components, and that's really just listening to a fluent reader, listening to the way a fluent reader reads. So which helps the child when he or she reads independently. So it's just listening to those good stories, flipping through the pages, and that oftentimes there's a couple children that are working in that station or on that component at the same time. But it's real important for that listening vocabulary for kids to be hearing good literature.